Ghana's legal aid scheme is struggling to provide support for people who cannot afford to contract lawyers as they come face to face with the justice delivery system. Now, as the nation observes a week of activities to highlight the work of the scheme, an activist with the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative is suggesting that paralegals could be brought in to help. Latif Idris reports.
Ghana, like any other country that follows the common law tradition, requires the state to provide legal representation for any citizen suspected of breaking the laws. For those who cannot afford to pay the lawyers, the legal aid scheme is supposed to help uphold their rights to legal representation. However, in Ghana today, the legal aid system is virtually on its knees. Those without money to pay for legal representation are very likely to go to court without professional defense. It is against this background that the regional coordinator of Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, Mina Mensah, made the passionate appeal for paralegals to be stationed at police stations to help suspects.
I think that I see the role of the paralegal as a support system. For example, we go to the police stations. When we have gathered all the information and there's a need to go to court, we liaise with pro bono lawyers. When there's an affidavit to be done, the lawyer directs. So the lawyer will probably tell you, do A, B, C, D, bring it to me, let me go through it. And then the process goes, you go to file, you do all those things. When it comes to going to court, we go to court. Because a lot of the problems start from there. If people have access to the right kind of information, if I know that if I'm arrested, I'm supposed to be taken through A, B, C, D, then I can challenge the system myself. So the linkage is, for me, the beginning should be done by the paralegal, and then when it comes to the actual legal work, it becomes the role of the lawyer.
But the president of Ghana Bar Association has expressed reservations about the call being made by the advocacy group. Benson Nchukwi says the distinction between paralegals who are supposed to provide support services for lawyers and the lawyers themselves must be made to prevent possible clash between the two entities.
I'm very interested in where do we draw the line? I was asking my Lord Justice Ansah, how would that operate in relation to the Legal Profession Act? And how do we supervise and ensure that if we ask some paralegals to do some work, they do not become more community laws and do more than they are required to do.
Meanwhile, some members of the legal aid scheme have threatened industrial action over delays in placing them on the single spine salary structure. But the executive director of the legal aid scheme, Al-Hassan Yahya Saini, says plans are far advanced to put members of the scheme on the new pay policy.
The legal aid scheme lawyers have not yet been brought on board, even though they ought to have been brought on board like the others as at the end of last month. But the idea is that the Accountant General is working out the systems of ensuring that everybody is brought on board on that harmonization program. So sooner than later, hopefully, the legal aid lawyers will be on the same level as their counterparts and colleagues in the other parts of the legal aid, of the justice delivery sector. Basically, that's what I can say for them.
To say that we are not going to see the industrial action?
I hope not.
The Ghana Water Company says it needs about $2 billion to improve and expand water distribution across the country. Now, to help raise the money, the water company is asking for a 120% increase in water tariffs. The Director of Geographical Information Services at the Ghana Water Company, Richard Apia Otu, told Joy News on the sidelines of a public forum in Accra that the company is in dire need of cash to revamp its operations.
The figure I indicated that the company has spent on projects the past 5 years to build new treatment plants, to put in new pipelines to supply water to various places. There are currently projects in Wa, projects in Kumasi, projects in Winneba, Cape Coast. These are the current amount of borrowing, and these are loans that were contracted, long-term loans were contracted for the government of Ghana for Ghana Water to use to develop projects so that people can have access to revenue. These monies now, as government policy, has to be, we have to pay back all this money. So all these monies have to get into the tariffs, spread over time, so that we can make sure that we pay our creditors and then get additional funding. As I also stated in the presentation, that we need about $2 billion to make sure that we achieve 100% coverage for all urban dwellers for the next 10 years. If we are able to get that resource in terms of money, we'll be able to build the needed system capacity and needed pipe infrastructure to supply water to every urban home in Ghana.
So you think people should pay more for tariff?
It is quite obvious that water tariffs that we pay right now is ridiculously very low. How much is a bottle of water compared to a bottle of a gallon of water? If you look at the ratios, it is something that you can calculate. And I can tell you that the quality of water you get through your pipes, the quality are world standards that I can vouch for. That's one, cost of chemical, two, power, energy, personnel, maintenance, development of new assets, all this come together to build up the cost for the tariff we are proposing. And then to be able to sustain the supply for very long term, we need that money to constantly renew our assets, because some of our assets are, we should provide capital maintenance for our assets so that we don't allow the assets to be broken down before the entire system is broken down, we start fixing. We need to make sure that we do constant maintenance and upgrades to our system to make sure that we continue to offer sustainable urban water supply to the citizens of Ghana.
We're taking a break here on News Desk. We return shortly with some more stories. Don't go away.